Hey everyone, we're here in beautiful Los Angeles at one of the most important shops in the city, JASPY'S in Hermosa Beach. We have a beautiful view of the beach here and I want to find some gorgeous cards with you inside. So. Here we are. This is my first time here and it's beautiful. And here's Mike.
Welcome,
Hi,
welcome,
Mike.
Stephanie. How are you?
Good, so good
great.
to see you again.
Thanks for coming.
I was just on my drive here wondering why I haven't been to JASPY'S yet. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Now living in Ontario, realizing that it's with traffic still about a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful drive.
LA traffic, yeah.
A little background on how I found out about JASPY'S. In 2020, when I was teaching from home, I saw JASPY'S on the news.
Wow.
And they were saying a little something about what card breaking was back then.
Okay.
And that's how I started learning about card breaking. And I remember very early on, while I was teaching from home, joining breaks with you, joining breaks with Leighton, and just finding breaks on Instagram and kind of then eventually being inspired to do what I do today.
Yeah.
So
it's a great hobby, great business. A lot of fun.
So in my opinion, JASPY'S is one of the most important shops, not just in California, not just in Los Angeles, but in the entire industry, in the hobby. You've gone global. You've done so much for growing the hobby. You've done so much for growing card breaking. So
I appreciate that, yeah. It's been a long journey. Nick sort of started, I retired from Topps, 2012. We moved back to California. That was the place we wanted to live. My son was a junior in high school and saw a little bit of card breaking. His older brother tried to do it on eBay. But there was no live element. Mm-hmm. So you had to go back and forth by email, so it really didn't work. Once Breakers TV started, then
what year was that?
Breakers TV, I believe it was about 2013.
Okay, wow.
So sometime in there. And so we started in the garage, and then he was a junior in high school, and then he would break at night. And then Breakers TV, a few more breakers, but when we started, there was maybe 6 or 7 breakers, Leighton, Mojo. It sort of expanded, it got a little bigger, a little better. We sort of took over my house, and my wife were sorting on the kitchen table and shipping, so she threw us out. And we got a small office in Redondo Beach, put a showcase in there so we could say we're a shop. And be able to buy wholesale. It got bigger and bigger. We hired a few more breakers, and then we moved from Redondo to Hermosa here, our location. Right now we have about 15 people on the payroll, stream about 200 hours a week.
Wow.
On 3 different platforms, plus eBay.
That's
so really
amazing.
4 platforms.
You said how many hours a week?
About 200 total
incredible.
hours a week,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So starting from someone who's just starting, that's definitely not easy to accomplish.
It's not easy to do, especially the scheduling.
Yeah, the scheduling, just the people, and breaking live is one thing. It's all the shipping and the sorting that needs to be done after, and the customer service on top of that. So it's 200 hours is a lot of hours of all of that too.
Yeah, we have a great shipping team. You could probably count on one hand every month how many issues that we have.
Good, yeah.
We ship 3 days a week. We break 7 days a week. So it's it's a system. It's a well-oiled machine.
Absolutely.
In and out, in and out.
I want to learn more about how you got into cards.
I started collecting cards in 1964.
Okay.
I'm a little older than most.
It's a little
My father started collecting cards in 1933.
Wow.
With the Gaudis.
Yes.
So when I started collecting, I get my paper out money, I go across the street, order me a box of cards every week, and they were $1.40 for 24 packs. I went home and I sorted them, and I had a neighbor next door, he had a deli, and those brick cheese boxes. And I would just put them in there, and I didn't play with them. I sorted them. I used a checklist book. Because of my dad, I didn't throw anything away. I kept wrappers, I kept boxes.
And it's just, look at the beautiful business you've built here today too, and with your son. So your son has been a big part of this since he was a junior?
He's a junior in high school, yeah. He was...
And how was that, seeing his progression, his growth as an entrepreneur, and just being able to share that with him all these years?
Oh, it's great, especially since I did it with my dad. you know, all throughout the 70s and early 80s. You know, we'd go to shows together and we'd do this. And seeing my youngest son do that is great. And it's not only, you know, my wife is in the business, my daughter's in the business. So JASPY'S really is a family business.
Okay, okay, that's very inspiring for me because I started collecting cards again as an adult. I really loved Pokemon and baseball cards growing up, but when I decided to do it as an adult, I figured this is something that I can do with my boys. It's something that I really enjoy, and I figured what's the best thing to do with your kids and something that you enjoy. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm really inspired by you and like Rob Veras and being able to bring on your kids and give them careers and something that you can all spend time doing. I think is amazing.
I mean, one of the reasons that the business did take off was because of Nick. Because Nick, you know, he priced it, he loaded the brakes, he did all the work, and he broke. Then we hired our first breaker while we were still in the house, Joe Lee, who's still with us.
Yeah,
11
he's
years
famous.
later.
He's the TV guy.
In fact, all our breakers started out sorting cards.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like what you said earlier. They sorted cards, they packed, they shipped. That way you understand
That's where we're
the
at.
importance of the back room.
Absolutely, and everything that you do as a breaker, how it affects the back room, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're in there going like, these breakers, they do that to me too.
Do they?
She forgot to put a sticky
Yeah,
on this one.
there's no sticker. Who's a go-to? They got to watch the video.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Okay. That's how I just walk into the room and I hear my voice and I'm like, uh-oh, what did I forget to do?
Yeah.
What would your father say about everything that's going on?
He would just be amazed. Yeah. You know, I had a chance, Cambridge, Maryland. We were at a small show, and a friend of my dad's offered me, he had a Wagner. He wanted $1,500 for it. He offered it to me for $8.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough cash, and I actually made a few $300-400 at that show. You know, we were still selling cards early on, but you know, my dad, you know, so he ended up okay, and then he sold it to Bill Mastro for $1,500.
Wow.
You know, so.
That's a lot of history.
The story there,
too.
meaning my dad was, you know, didn't like to spend money. So, and he would just be amazed at the money being spent now.
Did you have any big sales during COVID? Like, I'm assuming you had some pretty amazing stuff. Did you have any big sales?
We pulled some really expensive cards. One was a John Morant logo man.
Wow.
So it sort of went to auction for like $280,000.
Wow.
I think that was our biggest.
Okay.
But our best big hit was Connor McDavid's RPA jersey number.
Look at my hands, guys. Jesus.
Yeah, that's not a bad card there, man.
Connor McDavid RPA, and I can't stop shaking. So I'm gonna put it in here, guys. Honestly, dude, I'm so nervous. Man, we hit a Connor McDavid RPA, and it's 97 of 99. Wow.
Wow.
So we pulled that, and the guy, collector, he lived in San Diego. So he drove up, looked at the card, gave it back to me, and he said, send it to auction.
Okay.
So I sent it to a friend of mine's auction, and I think it sold for, I'm gonna say $135.
Wow. Okay.
And a few weeks later, he came back up to get his money, and he said, that changed my life.
Wow.
You know, he was living in a trailer, and he paid off his daughter's college.
That's incredible.
But for somebody to say that changed my life, it made me feel good about breaking.
Yep. And somebody that's maybe just doing it for pastime,
Right.
being able to have a life-changing experience from it is pretty
I mean,
incredible.
it was really crazy because he bought in to a $30 break. Then he then he got randomized
Yeah.
into another break, and then he got randomized again, and the third time he got the Oilers. But total cost was $35.
What's your favorite part of your shop?
I like wax.
Yeah, me
You know,
too.
I like wax. I like it because it's colorful. That's the one thing I still collect. I don't collect cards too much anymore, but I collect advertising and packaging still.
Wow, okay.
So
I like that.
I just like the graphics,
Yes.
you know.
Isn't it kind of nostalgic to find too someone who was the cover, the athlete,
Yeah,
and no longer pretty much a name that anybody knows? It's kind of fascinating to see
it
some
is.
wax
You know,
like that.
yeah. Some of these products, like I remember one year Nick Van Exel was on a box, and I don't know whatever happened to Nick Van Exel, but I think he had a good year once.
I think it's so funny. We talked about that in another video, and somebody looked up the dude that was on the box and said that he had had a stint in jail. It was like in and out of the league. Like you really just never
Yeah.
know after a couple of decades. This is
Canadian-
always going to remind me of when I started. Right there, that box.
That box there. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Those
that's
are the breaks I was joining, chasing Tua.
Tua.
He was my guy. Yeah, Justin Herbert here too.
Yeah, and then we offered like Pokemon very much, but
Okay.
we don't do any gaming here. You know, we sell the basics.
That looks really nice. Like just a basic pack like that in a really nice
Yeah, that's how
plastic. That looks really nice like that. I like that a lot.
people like to just go up, you know, and if you have boxes out, you know, people shuffle through the boxes and that. Here they just grab a pack.
Yeah, that looks
You know,
a
they
lot
don't-
better than looking through a box.
Looking
and
through the
yeah.
box, or else having the boxes behind the counters. We do a lot of lower end singles.
Very, very beautifully.
These are like $2, $3, $4,
Okay.
50 cents, some of them. We sort of color code them. We just keep adding to it. Like I think there's some boxes that'll say new ads.
Okay.
You probably know when you buy a big group of cards, you always have leftovers.
Yep.
You know, you cherry pick the best stuff, and sort of like you have to take it all.
Yes.
You know,
So give us a tip. Give us a negotiation tip here. Somebody who's been negotiating for cards as long
Negotiating
as you
tip?
have. How do you get the best deal on cards?
Well, you don't get excited, first off. And, oh, yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah. If you get excited, if your eyes go up, if you start smiling, then you're telling the other side that, you know, this is valuable or this is popular.
Or I really want it.
So really, you just, you know, you're sort of mum. You sort of have to know what it's worth. You know, a lot of people, you know, they pull up their phone now, you know, comps.
Yeah.
You know, for years and years and years, there was no comp. You know, there was Beckett, low, high. You know, and for years I bought it low, sold it high. But today it doesn't work as much because of the internet comps and things like that.
Yeah. So very solid. Keep your cool.
Yeah, you got to
Do
keep
your
cool.
research. Do your research and just be fair.
And then this is one of our biggest sellers.
Very cool. Okay.
So this is like all the, you know, your base, your commons, the things people don't want, and the breaks. I've got hundreds of these boxes in storage.
Yeah.
I don't throw anything away because we do these little boxes, and we'll probably sell 100 of these a week,
That's such a great idea.
you know?
And you donate it to.
And we donate it to charity.
That's awesome.
So
I really love that.
I don't like to throw anything away
No.
card-wise. You know, it's,
No.
I go, wait a minute, somebody wants that.
Somebody wants that. Absolutely. Your showcases are beautiful. Everything's priced. How important is it to have everything priced in your shop?
It's really important. I mean, some shops don't price. I've learned over the years that customers want to know what the price is before they even ask a question.
Yeah.
Because you could have a price for this guy and a different price for that guy. This way we price everything. Everything is generally a little bit below comp. We sort of sort our cases out. Like, we don't put the light on because they're autos.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
light will fade the autos. But we do it by sport.
Point.
Makes it a little easier.
A lot of basketball, a lot of football.
Yeah,
Any
basketball.
Star Wars non-sports
I
stuff?
don't know. Caitlin's been selling well for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As far as basketball goes, we really couldn't sell basketball before Caitlin.
Yeah.
The WNBA sat on the shelf. So that's really
Really.
something that I really like about the business is all of a sudden just one person can come in and change it all.
That's what I was talking to your wife about before this, is how much the players affect the industry.
Yeah.
So how have you, so we're seeing obviously Wemby right now
Yeah.
is changing the industry again, getting a lot of people into basketball cards. It happened with Ja Morant, Zion, and LaMelo Ball.
Right.
That trio was insane. I wasn't part of this surge, but you saw a surge with Luka,
Yes.
right? That was probably the beginning before
Big
COVID.
surge. Yeah.
What can you think of, who was the guy before that, or girl? Yeah.
There were no female
Okay.
athletes.
Caitlin's the first.
Caitlin is the first.
That's amazing. Okay.
The first. I mean, they've been doing WNBA for how many? 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah.
And nothing, I mean, and there's some great players.
So she's
But-
going to play a big role in creating a lot of female collectors then, for sure.
Absolutely.
This is our last overall question. What's your most favorite innovation of the past couple of years under the Fanatics umbrella?
I really like Fanatics Live. It sort of has a good brand behind it. But Fanatics Live pretty much filters out, you sort of have to be invited to be on it. So it's, it's not a lot of crazies.
Yeah.
Our-
I mean, we're a little crazy, but
yeah, well, not super. There's
Yeah.
some people that are super crazy.
yeah. Like I said, I've only been doing this for 3 years, really, and having the opportunity to speak with you and people that have been in the industry for so long, I'm just really excited to see it continue to change. Debut patches, artist sketch cards, I think have been really cool this year. They're adding a lot more of that kind of stuff. I think Upper Deck does this really well, where they have innovations like different types of cards, like the aluminum, the metals, the wood carvings. I just think there's so much more that we can add that hasn't really been a staple yet. And the competition between Upper Deck and all that is going to continue
The
to make that
debut
better.
patch was a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with it, but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And that's something that is really unique that has never been done.
I agree.
That you can still come up with really, really crazy ideas that are really, really, really nice.
Another really exciting thing for me this year was the fun face variation.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty incredible. I heard so many stories from everyone, growing up and finding out that there's this really special card, and then you're going and running to the card shop, making sure you get some of those early packs
Yeah.
because you want the one that isn't covered up, or you're getting some of the ones that are covered up, and kind of seeing that chase and having them have that unannounced that
Yeah.
day, I thought was pretty fun. It's
Yeah.
a really great memory for us and our community. I think, like you said, there's you could think of that way, there's so much that you could do, but it takes the right people to just go, boom. That was great. That made Series 2 awesome.
Yeah.
Now we're going to take a tour of the rest of the shop here. Thank you so much for all the wonderful stories. This is where the magic happens.
So this studio here, this is our Fanatics Live. We have 3 studios, one for Instagram, one for YouTube, and our big room is Fanatics Live. Generally, we start our breaks around 3 on a usual day. Wednesdays, we start early. There's one day Mondays, we go 12 hours. In fact, we're doing a 24-hour break coming up on Black Friday.
I really love that you could see them from outside. I think that's super important.
Yeah, it is.
It makes a lot of people, just coming into the shop, interested in what's going on. They can go and be like, oh, what's going on over there?
And they go,
Yeah.
and there's always, what's going on and then we'll get people from out of town with their kids. They want to sit in Joe's chair. It's funny.
Okay.
It's funny.
How about me? I want to sit in Joe's chair. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is Joe's. This is our YouTube studio.
Joe is famous.
Yeah.
I think people are gonna. I think there's some people are gonna be upset Joe's not in the video. We'll have to come back. This is really nice. Yeah. Sorry, Joe. One breaker to another. Beautiful, beautiful setup. I spend quite a bit of time in my chair.
Do you?
Yeah.
And this, we do a lot of singles. I mean, I got a guy
Okay,
that
okay.
comes in. This is all on eBay. In our packs, we sort of bag them and hang them, which I don't think a lot of stores do.
This is the first time I've seen that. I love it. I think it looks really nice.
You know, we do some UFC, we do some hockey. This is a big, our stacker machine really gets a lot of kids excited.
Very nice.
So again, we sort of mix it up, the singles.
These boxes are great. Did you see these? Any of
Yeah,
these?
yeah.
Yeah. There's an auto per, like, what is it? Cigar carton? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player?
All time, Clayton Kershaw.
Wow. I was at his first start,
That's wild.
New
Yes.
York.
Very nice.
I was trading with Jerry Royce, who's the radio guy for the Dodgers. So he wanted his stuff, his cards. So I would trade and he would give me tickets to the Mets.
Wow.
I've always liked him.
I grew up with him. I've gone to every single one of his playoff starts pretty much.
Did you ever meet him?
No, not yet.
And then we sort of separate here.
Very cool. Game of Thrones.
Yeah. You know, it's a little bit of everything. There's sci-fi, there's golf, there's UFC, there's Pop Century, there's a nice Jordan auto, another Game of Thrones, Bruce Buffer. So a little, and there's Mike Jasperson, Allen and Ginter. I was in 2016 set.
Look at this.
It's $10,000 though.
What year was that?
2016.
2016, Allen and Ginter. Yeah, how did that feel? How was that experience when they said, hey, Mike, you want to be on a card, on a baseball card?
They didn't really ask me. The first Transcendent party. So Nick and I went. There were 65 people,
Yeah.
65 wristbands, and I was the last number called. And it was to be on a Ginter card.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
as I'm going up to get the card, there's a lot of booze because I had worked for Topps and I had just left Topps not too long
Yeah.
before that. You know, oh, the fix is in. The fix is in. But it was sheer random.
Yeah.
And Tom Fish offered me $10,000 on the spot if he could have
Yeah.
privilege, and I said no, and my wife kicked me in the shin. But you know, to me, as a lifelong collector,
Absolutely.
to have a card that you actually get out of pack, and to be in the checklist book, you know, the almanac for.
I'm very lucky to
Yeah.
share the honor. I
Yeah.
was in the first series of Big League as
Nice.
a short
Yeah, I
print.
remember. Yeah, it's great, right?
Definitely feels amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just Jordan, Kobe. I didn't know he passed, and he came in the shop, and he had just, and people were lining up to come in. So one guy comes in, and there's
Wow.
people looking at Kobe's,
Yeah.
and he came up to me, I'll buy it all.
Wow. Okay.
And then I
crazy.
realized the reason he was buying. Jackie, the girl that works in the shop at the time, said, "Oh, you know, the Kobe passed." But I still kept the price. I didn't
Yeah.
pull stuff or do anything.
Yeah.
And he did. Between him and a few others, they bought every Kobe card in the shop. As you can see, Trout's my favorite player.
Okay.
So we have Trout looking down.
Have you
We
ever
have
had
Jordan
him in the shop
looking
before?
down. No, he's a collector.
Yeah, we gotta get him in the shop.
We've
Trout?
actually had
Come on, Mike.
a friend of Nick's who he buys from,
Okay.
bought some Trouts to sell to Trout,
Okay.
you know, but no, we'd like to have him in the shop, but no.
We're gonna make that happen. Next hobby rip night.
Next hobby rip night, there
Yep.
you go. This is some of the stuff I collect,
Very cool.
like non-sports.
Yeah.
So I just put a little bit. I was in Europe and going to the soccer shops, and every soccer shop had, like, at the top had something that wasn't for sale that they collected.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea.
Very cool.
Just sort of, I've always collected non-sports.
It's a good idea. Thank you, everyone. This was JASPY'S shop here in Hermosa Beach, California. I'm super excited to share this video with you. There is a ton of history here, wonderful stories, and a wonderful family-owned business. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it, Stephanie. Thanks
I had
for
a really
having
good
us.
time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to come back eventually and have some more card fun here. But in the meantime, can you tell everyone watching where we could find you?
Yeah, we stream on Instagram, YouTube, and Fanatics Live. Our handle is @JASPY'S, @JASPY'S Breaks. Basically, you just type in JASPY'S, and all our information comes up because there's nobody that has that name. And we break 7 days a week. Our retail shop is open 5 days a week. Monday through Saturday, or actually Tuesday through Saturday,
Okay.
and 11 to 6. And we really like you to stop by, have some fun, and any questions, we have a great staff that will hopefully answer everything.
And now we're gonna go do a Fanatics live stream for all of you. So make sure you hop into that replay or their streams on Fanatics Live. Thank you.